All August long, we're doing a Kinda Funny Patreon pledge drive and asking you to chip in on patreon.com/kindafunny if you enjoy the shows. For real, we're an 11-person independent operation, and we couldn't do it without your financial support on patreon.com/kindafunny. So thank you.
What's up and welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. Of course, I am Tim Geddes, and I am joined by the Big Daddy himself, Greg Miller.
See, when we're in the different seats, it's easy for me to be like, you're not the host. Don't worry about the intro.
Yeah.
When we're in that Discord room, a million things bebopping and happening, worried about Jeff Jarrett interrupting me or something. I'm not, I wasn't prepared.
I get it.
On Friday to pass the baton.
Well, I'm happy that today you let Tim host. It finally happened, Greg.
Anytime.
Finally happened. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like PTSD there. His bear threw up the window. I was like, oh shit, is something about to happen?
Oh man, God.
I'm doing great. Yeah. Had a lovely evening last night. Came home to little Benny and Jen, regular size Jen. You know what I mean? And hung out, had a nice dinner, had a martini. No big deal. Nope.
God damn, no.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Stop my heart.
Literally alarming.
I know, right? It's a really good entrance music for a horrible person. Had a martini, watched this show on Netflix called Obsession. It's a limited series. You familiar with this one? It's a sexy schmexy show, but it's also totally fucked up where this guy, right, starts having the sexual intercourse with his son's girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
and they're like of age.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's of age or whatever, but it's still like this secret affair they're having, and he's in a loving relationship with his wife, and obviously has a relationship with So it's all fucking, where it's a limited series. No spoilers in chat. We're only 2 episodes in, so I'm excited to see how this all blows up in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Netflix movie called Do Revenge that me and G watched this weekend.
Okay.
I feel like it needs to be added to the list of Greg and Jen.
Oh,
It is the sexual erotic thriller type stuff that you're.
I love an erotic thriller. I've been talking about that a lot.
Yeah, we've been tweeting out like, "Hey, we like these type
thrillers.
of movies."
We want a thriller. It didn't need to be an erotic sexual thriller. That's not a negative.
I feel like they typically tend to be there, but it's wrapped in more of like a Clueless vibe.
Okay.
All right, so it's a little bit toned down, a little more high school. Rom-com-y stuff, but it goes there.
What's the name again? Do
Revenge.
Do Revenge. I'm adding it to the queue right now.
Fun time.
I appreciate that. And then went downstairs and played a embargoed game for a while.
Ooh.
Enjoyed that.
That's really cool. Yeah. I'm waiting for some embargoed games. You know what
there
I mean?
are literally now too many embargoed games.
Yeah.
Where again, so many people wanted to delay and move things around, and now it's just like, well, I've had to write 2 emails this morning. Would love to do this, but you're getting way too close to Starfield, and I can't contribute. I can't send people to this preview event. We're just 11 people.
I'm wondering, what is our plan for the Starfield reveal?
Well, if you went to today's Kinda Funny Gamescast, you'd find out all about it. Or having it right now, if you just have questions for it, kindafunny.com/xcast. Of course, we do not have Starfield. I mean, full disclosure, because I just talked about a bunch of codes and things. We don't have Starfield. That's why it's like we can play these games. When Starfield get here, it's pretty much all over for us, though. And then, of course, we talked a lot about that. Right now we're working on a bunch of different streaming plans and a whole bunch of fun stuff for Starfield coming up.
Yeah, gonna be great. Everyone, check out that episode of Gamescast. But that is a different show. This is Kinda Funny Games Daily, where each and every weekday we come at you with all the video game news that you need to know. You can watch it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames and youtube.com/kindafunnygames each and every weekday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's followed by a fun little 30-minute post show where we answer all your super chats and resubs on YouTube and Twitch respectfully. And then we have a great time. And after that, we stream games all day long. It's a great time for everybody involved. If you want to support us even more, though, you got to go to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you get the show ad-free. You get a whole bunch of bonus content, including a new Gregway, a whole bunch of other cool stuff as well. Daily stuff, man. It's just great. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Jedi Master Deadpool, Delaney Twining, and Logan Delaney, the Delaney brothers, for all of their support. Remember, you can use the Epic creator code KindaFunny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases, and at no extra cost to you. It benefits us. So thank you. We appreciate you. And even if you don't have any bucks to toss anywhere, you can get the show free. You can watch VODs whenever the hell you want. You can listen to podcasts whenever you want. YouTube.com/KindaFunny. Podcast services around the globe. Search for Kinda Funny Games Daily, and we'll be right there for you. A little housekeeping for you. We already talked about this, but a new Gamescast is up with Parris Lily talking all about Starfield, and that's going to be great. So you should check that out after this show, and then after the Super Chat thing, and then after the gameplay stream. But then after all that, you can do that. Or you can go to patreon.com/KindaFunny and watch the Kinda Funny podcast live later today.
Yeah, that's right.
Whole bunch of content here.
A motley crew of people on the cast today.
Yeah.
You got what? It's Nick, Joey, and Tim.
That's the plan for now.
We'll see who gets added, who goes.
I have no idea.
Where am I going? I'm going to see a video game thing embargoed. That's
very
where you're at, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is embargoed. And eventually they're going to start popping. I'm not popping anymore, Barrett.
For now, let's bring with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. 7 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Story number 1. Greg Miller. This one's for you. DC Universe Online coming to PS5 and Xbox Series this holiday.
Fucking go, Tim.
Story number 1, everybody. This comes from Sal Romano at Gamatsu. Daybreak Game Company will release DC Universe Online for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series this holiday season, the developer announced. Along with the performance gains found playing natively on the latest and greatest hardware, the team's also working on gameplay and quality of life improvements to match, Daybreak Games said in its August development update. This initiative is a long-term endeavor that's already underway. You'll see some of these improvements launch over the next few months prior to release on the new consoles, some of them at launch and some of them following over the course of next year. The PS5 and Xbox Series versions of DC Universe Online will run on the same servers as the existing versions, meaning that you will be able to play with your same characters and friends, and all purchases and achievements also carry over.
That means it's going to be my 3rd DC Universe Online Platinum Trophy.
Maybe not the last.
C'est magnifique, ladies and gentlemen. For a second, let's put all the character shit aside. Let's put aside the, Greg's dreams come true again, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Let's give a round of applause to the developers of DC Universe Online who have kept this game running for 12 years. 12 years, ladies and gentlemen. All we talk about here are games as a service that launch and fail, these half-baked ideas, these gotcha things, yada, 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 right? Games and developers missing what their community wants, et cetera, and so on. The fact that DC Universe Online has been running since the PlayStation 3 generation, has received its PlayStation 4 update when PlayStation launched the PlayStation 5, Daybreak was very clear of like, no, we're working on a PS5 version of the game, a client for it, yada, yada. But it was one of those that I think they never put a hard date on, but it got kicked a little bit in their like timeline, which again, they're communicating and showing what they're doing. When that happened, I was like, oh, this might never happen. This might actually be a pipe dream. Maybe they are going to wind down. Maybe they're going to do whatever. And then the fact that here we are.
Yeah.
Nope. PlayStation 5, Xbox, we're putting a holiday timing on it. It's actually happening. Again, this went up with a big roadmap in terms of what to expect over on there. Also ridiculous that Meps wrote this thing. If you don't know Meps, he's Ted Stone. He's been working at DC Universe Online for 12 years. He has been the voice of this. Like, that's still happening. Like, this is, again, I'll tone it down from the Greg Miller character to actually Greg Miller industry person. What a ridiculous, cool story of this game that just keeps on chugging. The overwhelming majority of the industry can completely ignore it and forget about it and whatever, but it's there and it's still going and it's clearly doing well enough. That's
the question. How? You like to all your points, like congratulations to them. They're doing it in this world where live service games are being talked about every single day on this show for shutting down or not doing things right or whatever. How is this game being reborn time and time again? Like, is there a player base there that makes these type of investments worth it? Like, what's your read on this?
I mean, this is a business, video games. So the fact that this is still going 12 years later, they are making this commitment, they are putting that stuff in there are money still in those hills. People are still paying. Because again, I'm so rusty and they've changed the model, but it's a free-to-play game right up to a point, then you need to pay. The expansions you do pay for, kindafunny.com/you're-wrong. I'm so lapsed. It's been a good, I remember in the apartment before where we are now, I did play for like a week, but I can't remember if that was pre-pandemic or during the pandemic. So it's like I'm so hazy on what it is. What I'm doing right now is, of course, I'm on Twitter. I'm going into my DMs right now, and I'm writing, can I call you on a show right now? Who am I saying that to? A man named Trexlight. Trexlight, of course, has been a DC Universe Online community standout for as long as I've known about the game. Where when I first started, when the game launched and I was playing it obsessively, right, you would run into different people in the hardcore audience, yada, yada. And so in his bio, he says, content creator and podcaster, hashtag DCUO podcast. So, like, this is still happening for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still real. The Trex, damn it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I would love to know about what he's seeing, what's going. Oh, he says, whoa, for real? Yeah. Hold on. What's your number? Or we could Discord him. That seems like more complicated.
That's the whole thing, you know?
Well, is it? I mean, we just.
I don't think it's going to be a long call. You know what I mean?
I mean, well, I guess he's going to monologue more than anything.
Yeah.
We're going to get, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Kinda Funny does, all right?
Journalism.
We'll get the experts on the phone. Here we go. All right. I'm going to read this number out. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. Now I got to check the number because I did them wrong sometimes because I'm old now.
Yeah, can you imagine calling the wrong person talking about DC Universe Online?
I think we figured it out pretty quick, but sure.
Hey, what's up?
Not much, Trexlight. This is Greg Miller. You're on Kinda Funny Games Daily. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am excellent. We are talking about the biggest news of this century, DC Universe Online coming to PlayStation 5 and, of course, coming to the Xbox Series. How excited are you, Trex?
Well, you see, Greg, as a PC player,
Boo!
you know, I mean, one of the most dedicated servers out there for DC. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So I actually just got done reading the state of a game or the developer update for that as well. So over the past couple of months, it's definitely been, we have seen the graphic updates happening. We've seen new character models. We have been seeing redesigns of even older places like the League of Assassins Stronghold.
Nice.
Like, we're seeing updates onto the game for sure. Now seeing a developer update showing that the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One or Series X, updates are coming out this later this season. I am super pumped because everybody talks about, it's like, oh, the game is so dated. It's like, well, this game came out in 2011.
Right.
The game was made in 2009. And
So-
it's an MMO. The graphics don't make the MMO. I'm sorry.
It's true. Now, Trex, of course, I've already put you over a DCUO podcast. That's where everybody can find you, where they can do this. You're streaming, of course. This is Trex on Twitter. The real question I have for you is one that Tim asked me and I can't answer. How popular is DCUO today? Does it still have like this? Is it a big audience? Is it just a dedicated audience that's buying all the expansions, and that's why it makes sense to keep making stuff like this?
So, and again, I'm definitely still a DC player. I still love the game. Been playing it since 2011, been at launch. I have my issues with the game for sure, but it's just like my issues with World of Warcraft. But I'm still there. I'm still there playing every day. It's just how it just hooks me.
Goddamn.
I will say during COVID was like the peak of DCUO for sure.
Okay.
The player base was all there. I'm going to say that right now, the player base comes from PlayStation 4 or comes from the PlayStation community.
You're welcome. You're welcome, you PC piece of trash.
Yeah, the PlayStation and PC share a server. So, and obviously as a PC gamer, it's like, no, these are all PlayStation players. Absolutely. And that's really what keeps the game alive.
Okay.
The Xbox server and Nintendo Switch server, they are definitely small in community, especially on the Switch with their population, but they're still there. Those are dedicated. On the PlayStation PC server, this is the game,
And they're paying for it. They're paying for it and like making this worthwhile. How long do you think DC Universe Online will go for?
I don't see an end yet. I don't see an end until DC decides just to stop making comics. To be honest, I really don't.
Love it.
The changes with the game, you don't have to be a subscriber. Subscriber is still an option. They've made the free-to-play option much better by just giving you all the content. You have 10 plus years of content for free that you can play. The newest episode comes out later in the fall, in the next couple of months. Episode 46, kicking us into Justice League Dark more territory. You're going to play that for free.
Goddamn.
You don't have to buy it. It's just there. So they've really given you a lot of this. Absolutely now feels like a free to play game,
Beautiful.
and that's what really brings me more involved into DCUO. It's like this now feels like a free to play. The subscription is now a bonus. It's not a mandatory thing, and that's really what I love about it.
Goddamn. All right, Trex. Well, we're gonna talk more about this in the show in a second, but when it's out, when the PlayStation 5 client drops, I'm back, baby, and I'm gonna need your help. All right, you're gonna have to bring me up to speed on everything.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see Taylor Swift again.
Sounds great. All right, talk to you later, Trex.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. Now, Barrett, you piece of shit. I see you shaking your head over there. I'm making a claim, ladies and gentlemen. As long as there isn't some goddamn review I got to worry about. Because it's a holiday. Holiday, what does that mean? It probably means January, maybe February, Valentine's Day. So we'll see what's up against.
Yeah,
but
that's a holiday.
I'm back. I'm back.
What does that mean? What does Greg Miller being back to DCU?
It means Taylor Swift,
What do you
who
got to
of
do to
course
platinum
went
again?
Huh?
What do you have to do to platinum again?
Turn it on.
Really? That's
That's
it?
all it is. It's gonna go bing, 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 and you're gonna see me doing this. Dancing like I'm in Fortnite, all right? Whatever these kids are doing these days, that's what I'll be doing.
Wow. Wow. That was impressive.
Thank you.
I
Thank
didn't
you.
expect that, Greg.
Yeah. Well, I like to
I
keep
know
you
your
guessing.
dance moves pretty well.
Yeah,
Never
that's a
seen
new
that
one.
one.
It's like it seems easy, and then you do it. It's like, that wasn't easy. That didn't look good. That didn't look good. I didn't like that.
You got your arm out there?
I need you to
I did my
actually...
shoulders. I don't think it's from that, but then it did aggravate an old shoulder injury. I'll tell you what. I went to that Giants game on Saturday. I carried Ben the entire time. Like, it was a lot.
Yeah, I need you to make a video when it happens of you popping the trophies. And
That's got to
doing
be a
that
stream.
dance.
That's got to be a stream,
Gotta
right?
do
It's
it.
got to be like Greg Platinum's DC Universe Online a third time. And
Yeah.
it's just that, and it's me dancing.
So
if you let me order a new Superman suit, I'll wear that too.
You're allowed, Greg.
Thank you. Good.
Yes.
Good.
So you're going to platinum it, but then what? What does that look like?
Make no bones about it. I am incredibly blessed. I say this all the time. I know if you listen to Greg Way, even from yesterday, you're sick of me hearing me say it. And I never want that to be lost on you guys. I live my best life possible. However, there is still part of me that was like, what if I worked a normal job and if I could just play whatever? And if I still think I would be like Trex. Like, I didn't want to leave DC Universe Online. It's just that the job and the next game and the thing and all, I got to do this event and like, I got away from it, right? My hope would be that I would come back to this. I still, like, you know how it is of like, the entire game is just grinding. When I left, it was just grinding for new armor for the next raid, for the thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the meta is right now. I don't know in terms of what it would be, but I would love to jump in and see the content. So me being back in a realistic sense, it'd be me playing with Trex maybe every night for a week. And if I wanted to get ambitious, maybe I'm in there throughout the month. Not nonstop, but like, coming back and doing different stuff and seeing what's up.
That's exciting, man. Do you feel like it's going to be like a fresh experience, or is it going to be more like a nostalgic visit?
I would imagine nostalgic visit. That's what it was when I went back in the apartment. I went back in, I had a token, I re-rolled Taylor's powers because they had introduced hard light, Green Lantern stuff since then. So I made her a Green Lantern.
Her power's only grown since then, correct?
Exactly. It's over 9,000. I always thought it made more sense for her to be a Green Lantern than a super House of L character. But of course, I like Superman at the time. I was limited in what I could pick. So I made her a Green Lantern, which was fun, and did a whole bunch of stuff there. And so then it was a new power set to use, new moves to do, blah, blah, blah. But it was that kind of, I didn't have a Sherpa. I think I talked to Trex a few times via DM when I was back, but I didn't have like a sit down. What do I need to be doing on the daily? What episode really should I go do? So I just became all right, this is again, I'm so rusty. This is the one they've brought out of the vault or the new thing that's free. So I'm doing that and running that, but I need to get these many coins of Trigon or whatever the hell it was. It's one of those like, this is a lot to take in and be dropped in on, and I'm looking at wikis and I'm looking at things and I'm like, all right, I enjoyed myself and I got out of it. Whereas I think having somebody in there to show me around, I'd love to see the new assets and see the new stuff and see how it looks on PlayStation 5. Again, back to dropping the character a little bit and coming back to reality, right? Like, they're talking about, the team is also working on gameplay and quality of life improvements to match. This initiative is a long-term endeavor that's already underway. You'll see the new improvements like Trex was talking about, right? But then also other stuff, some of them at launch, some of them following over the course of the year. The working on gameplay, I wonder what that means. What does that look like? New animations? Are we shaking up how it was? Because that was always, the pitch for DCUO was that, yes, it's an MMO. Yes, you have the hot bar, but there are combos. And it is like 1-to-1. You hit the button, you slash your sword or do the thing or use your move. It wasn't like Diablo or whatever. It's just tap, 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 then do something else, right? It was more action oriented to what you're doing, which I really appreciated. So like if they're changing that or updating that, it'd be interesting to see what that's all about too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just stoked to have it back. Back to Trex's point, I remember when it launched on PlayStation 4 and what a huge boon that was to getting people back into it and showing it off and free to play and all that stuff. So I'm sure that when this drops, you would imagine you'd see a whole bunch of new people in there as well.
Yeah.
And then we get I was going to say the IGN Super Pals back together, but now we got to make a kind of funny Super Pals thing.
Everyone get hyped. I'm excited.
I want you to know I've had a code in my inbox since the holidays for like some DC Universe Online drop thing they did. And so I just started reinstalling it at my desk before we went out there so I can get on there and get that done.
The hype is real, everybody.
See what's up.
Congratulations, Greg. This is big. And hey, shout out to y'all for killing the game out there. Story number 2. Geoff Keighley says this year's Gamescom opening night live is less about announcing new projects. This comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. Keighley has provided an update on his next flagship game show, Gamescom Opening Night Live, which he says will focus less on announcing new projects. Speaking to VGC ahead of the August 22nd event, which is next week, and of course, we will be live reacting to it that day, right here on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames and youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. The host and producer said that viewers should expect mostly updates on announced games planned to release over the next 12 months. It's going to be an exciting show with new looks at many announced upcoming games like Alan Wake 2 and Black Myth Wukong.
I prepped the woo, but I was too late for Alan Wake 2. And then I was like, well, I can woo the second game. And I was like, ooh, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Black Lake Wukong? What is it?
What? Black Myth.
Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah.
Kong.
This year's opening.
Do you know this game? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. That
What's
wasn't
that?
Isn't that the other Souls-like one that's coming out?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Hold on a sec.
You were all confident you knew what it was, but not so confident now, huh, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. Oh, okay. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah, beating up this.
Yeah, it's an upcoming action role-playing game by Chinese indie developer Game Science.
Okay.
Yeah. This year's opening live is less about announcing brand new projects and more about giving fans updates on some of the biggest games due out over the next year. Opening Night Live is the Game Award producers' regular pre-show presentation for the German Gamescom Expo, which last year took place in Cologne as a in-person event for the first time since 2019. Last year's show ran for just over 2 hours and featured more than 35 games. According to Keighley, Opening Night Live presents unique challenges compared to his other annual events, the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest, not just due to its European location, but also due to ties to partners exhibiting at Gamescom itself. First, there are the logistical challenges for our LA-based team to produce a big-scale show in Germany. Thankfully, Gamescom and Colin Mess are great partners. The other challenge, but also opportunity, is that this show is directly tied to the partners and games that will be exhibiting at Gamescom. We're always trying to find ways to create synergy between what's happening on the floor and inside Opening Night Live.
The Köln Messe.
That's the convention center, right?
Yeah.
Clone Messe?
It's like the Köln. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Something
Gotcha.
around there. you
Gotcha.
know? It's been 5 years since I've been.
I can call Jen. She knows how to do it.
Yeah. What would I like this? You know,
I like this.
I feel like setting the expectations of what the show is important, and I feel like Keighley's been
100%.
finding these things a lot in the last couple of years, and we've seen this, we knew this. Like, I feel like all of us could have said this before here, but him straight up saying it, I think.
Hello.
Hey, Jen, you're on Games Daily Live. It's your husband, Greg Miller. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. When you go to Cologne, Germany, and you go to Gamescom, you walk into Convention Center, and what's it called?
Köln Messe.
Köln Messe.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
That was pretty close.
There
No,
you go.
you did, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I feel like this is good, and it's Keighley continuing to kind of define the different 3-act structure that he has going on throughout the year. I do feel like Gamescom is unfortunately timed when it comes to him having Game Fest and then Game Awards. Those are like appropriately placed in the year, but there's something about this August placement that kind of forces this to just be kind of an update show. But I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. And I do think we'll still get some announcements there. I just think that he's setting the expectations correctly, that him doing this means to me like there's not even going to be a Saints Row level announcement or a Dead Island level announcement.
I can see that, yeah.
Like that'd be, if anything, the biggest type of pop.
I think, you're right on everything you just said. So there's not that much to add. The one thing I think is that and I could be completely wrong, so please correct me if you have information I don't. The way I believe it, right, is that like SGF Game Awards, owned and operated by Geoff Keighley. Opening night live, Gamescom hires Geoff to produce a show for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't. It's the different. I don't have a good example off the top of my head, but it's not. It's not a Geoff Keighley. It is a Geoff Keighley production, but it's not a Geoff Keighley thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not a Kojima. There's Kojima Productions where it's all Kojima, and then there's Hideo Kojima comes and makes a game for Nintendo or something weird like that, right? Like I think that's what it is. And so even though this is disappointing in some respects of like what you'd expect from a Geoff Keighley thing, it's awesome to see the experiences he's had doing this year after year now in terms of getting out in front of it. Let's get out in front of it. Let's get out early. Let's, a few weeks out be like, yo, by the way, this is not about new games. This is about updating games, which is exciting. I'm excited for a new look at Alan Wake 2, right? Like I can't wait for Alan Wake 2. I don't want to know too much, but I want to know more kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of games in that arsenal that I could use a lot more information on or little updates on or see a new look at, and I think it would go really far. Yeah. And again, it's to your point, a bit like, oh man, unfortunate placement, but also cool that Gamescom makes the thing out of it and does give an avenue to do something and make, their own.
Totally. We've talked about this a million times, but Gamescom is like the biggest event in terms of numbers. Yeah. And giving the people at the show a show to watch, I think is really cool and not something that we've seen too much. Like you go to a PAX and yes, there's panels, but there's not like a big keynote press conference thing. And that's why I think PSX just did it right. We talk about it so often, but like PSX was kind of the dream when it comes to it because they owned and operated it all. They could bring the hype. They had this big stage show, and then they had amazing community events surrounding it, and then panels that were all supporting the culture of PlayStation. So it's like very focused, and I just 10 out of 10, they nailed it, right?
Yeah.
Gamescom, I feel like, is so spread for all the reasons they even talked about here, but because of the partnerships and all of that, I feel like the show, we talk about Game Awards a lot and Summer Game Fest of like, all right, we're expecting really big things because they've been building to that year after year, and it's gotten bigger and better and all that and more refined. But there's still going to be a lot of advertisements. There's still going to be a lot of things that pay the bills that allow this to happen. Partnerships and like putting developers on the map and like giving them a shot, even though they're not necessarily ones we know about. Like there's a lot of politics at play here. I think Gamescom has more than any of that, and there's no getting away from they're going to do the weird awards during the show that feel like they're awarding things that don't feel correct to be awarded. Did you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Like Game Awards, it's like, cool, it's the Game Awards, right? Yeah. Gamescom always has the like show floor awards, and it just always feels really, really weird, and that's what bloats the runtime of this thing.
Gotcha.
Like over 2 hours, like I don't expect this to be an entertaining watch. I expect it to be a slog for the most part. And like, that's unfortunate. I do think Keighley's gotten so much better overall that like anything he can control, he's going to try to bring the hype and bring up the pacing and try to make it as good as possible. But yeah, I feel like Gamescom in every way, I have the least expectations for of the Keighley events at this point, mainly because he is not the sole person in control of making it all happen.
He's got a boss.
Yeah. Yeah, and also just the partners, right? Like you just need to kind of please Gamescom as a whole, which I think is not conducive to an online audience of critics that are going to look at this that are expecting hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to get cool demos and I maybe a couple surprises and maybe some like smaller tier like, oh, wow, I didn't expect to see that here things. But like, yeah, I feel like Gamescom is opening night live. Happy it happens, but at the same time, wouldn't be upset if it didn't.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
I'm going to move on to story number 3, but before I do that, just a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. Y'all know how much I love to stay hydrated, and Liquid IV makes it easier and better than ever to ensure that I'm always living my best, most hydrated life. And you can too. Liquid IV, the #1 powered hydration brand in America, is now available in sugar-free with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness. Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, and you can keep your daily routine screen, exciting with 3 new flavors: white peach, green grape, and lemon lime. Let me tell you, the white peach is good. It's real good. We here at Kinda Funny swear by this stuff. 1 stick of liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. Real people, real flavor, real hydrating. Now sugar-free. Grab your liquid IV hydration multiplayer sugar-free in bulk nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code KindaFunny at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you use promo code KindaFunny at liquidiv.com. So with the rumors of a September PlayStation showcase, right? May or may not happen. We've gotten some reports recently of things getting pushed back and plans moving for Sony, first party
stuff.
Yeah, first party titles, all of that. What if it didn't happen? Then what if in like March 2024 it was a PSX, Greg?
Dude, don't even make me dream. You know, PSX was the best. I loved that show so much. You know, it felt like such a human event, if that makes sense, for a company that traditionally did not lean into that and now definitely does not lean into that, right? To have your giant PSX press conference, then open the doors and just flood out to all these different demos. So many of them indie. I remember how stoked Drinkbox was to be there showing off Severed right at that time. And like you talked to all these people and you saw these things and it was just a celebration of everything you could play on PlayStation, right? And the history of PlayStation and like the cards, you know, going through and collecting the deck of cards and all these different things, the panels. Like PSX was always awesome, and it never got too big. I think that was the thing, right? Where like, don't get me wrong, I love PAX too, but PAX, especially PAX Prime, is just so big now, where it's just overwhelming sea of people, and it is that thing. It's similar to how I always talk about Kinda Funny, right? When we would do Kinda Funny live, I would always put in that document that we would send to everybody, like, if you're coming alone, when you're in line, turn to your left, turn to your right, ask them what their favorite Kinda Funny show is, what favorite moment, what their favorite game is. Like, you're all here for the same thing. At a PAX, it's harder to turn. You're all there for video games, probably. You know what I mean? There's some tabletop and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but you turn and like, oh, I only play on PC, or I only do this, or I only, you know what I mean? Like, at least with PlayStation, there'd be some kind of connective tissue there that made it feel like a community event rather than a hodgepodge giant bazaar.
Yeah, and
bazaar. Yeah, bazaar. Not, yeah. It wasn't bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
I just feel like they did such a good job because it was focused on PlayStation. Like the panels even felt like they had a focus to it and a level of like prestige where I'll never forget.
Come on, how many Beyonds and PS I Love You panels?
I mean,
come
yeah,
on.
but
prestige.
But like, I think that's a great example though, right? Of like giving the people that care about this most, that do a show about this stuff, like a stage like that, to be able to speak to an amazing audience about PlayStation, their love for it, and the guests we'd bring on for all that. But even I remember this must have been right after Uncharted 4 came out, that PSX, I think, there was an accessibility panel, and it was like specifically talking about PlayStation's efforts with accessibility. And I was so impressed with it that like they took that stage time to talk about how and why they are implementing into their games, and to be, you know, years removed from that and to see how much advancements they even made from that, just to put that level of importance on it. I feel like that is the power of PSX, where they can have this big panel where Neil Druckmann's out here talking about the history of Naughty Dog and like, you know, all the different projects and stuff. But then right after that, it could be followed up with this accessibility thing with equal importance, followed up with a PS I Love You or whatever it was. There's something that just felt like there was programming there in a way that I feel like a lot of other conventions, you kind of lose some of that stuff.
Yeah.
On top of course, the press conference keynote to kick it all off. Nothing like the energy of having people in a room. But on top of that, people in a room, they're not journalists that are fans of want to get excited when games are announced, that want to make the decisions at Until Dawn. Imagine if the next PlayStation showcase was live in front of 7,000 screaming fans, not at the Shrine Auditorium, but at some convention center somewhere.
Anaheim. We're going back to the Heim.
Going back to the Heim, everybody. But speaking
they
of
might have
Sony,
repaired it, but we're breaking the hymen again.
Oh my God. Speaking of accessibility at PlayStation, story number 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 accessibility features let you slow down gameplay. This comes from Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. I don't like that you said hymen. I just don't. At all, people. Insomniac Games has revealed some accessibility features coming to Marvel Spider-Man 2, including the ability to slow down gameplay. As spotted by Angie on Reset Era, Spider-Man 2's PlayStation Store page.
A great username. Great username. But it's like, Angie, I'm not working on Angie's list. I'm over here on Reset Era.
As spotted by Angie on Reset Era, Spider-Man 2's PlayStation Store page has been updated to include a questions and answers segment, which has its own paragraph on accessibility. Quote, Insomniac Games has devised a range of new and in-depth accessibility features to create a Marvel Spider-Man 2 experience without barriers. Building on the accessibility improvements in previous titles, these features allow the game to be enjoyed by more players of different abilities. The ability to slow down gameplay seemingly at the touch of a button is perhaps the biggest addition. Players can choose to slow down the action to 70%, 50%, or as much as 30% speed, and can switch back to regular settings at any time. This feature was included in Insomniac's own Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which was praised for its sweeping accessibility options. The other features mentioned include screen reader support, which will read aloud all on-screen text in menus and on-screen captions, and audio descriptions for cinematic scenes. These accessibility features will seemingly join those already featured in Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, which included a wealth of options to allow as many players as possible to enjoy the open world adventure. Awesome. And this backs up what I was saying of PlayStation has this ecosystem that they're investing in, and game after game, they're getting better and growing
100%.
and hearing the feedback and trying to make their games accessible to as many people as possible. Everybody wins. This is just such a great thing, and I feel like it's so awesome to see PlayStation and Xbox take this so seriously. And, you know, Nintendo needs to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead. Finish your point.
Go for it.
I was going to say, yes, but it's also interesting to see other studios, developers not taking it as seriously. I've been like there for every one of these stories from a PlayStation or an Xbox or whoever, and you know, the litany of other games. I'm not trying to paint just these two first parties, but like right now I'm playing a couple different games for review, and I've been both, oh man, what a nice move for accessibility here, and then other ones where I go to the menu for accessibility because I'm having trouble reading captions or I'm having trouble seeing it and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, really?
No, totally. Yeah. And that's the thing though, is like I feel like the fact that they've not just a first party in Insomniac, but Sony's first party studios.
Yeah.
Like we see from whether it's Guerrilla or Naughty Dog or Insomniac, or Sucker Punch, they're all taking it seriously. And I feel like they're explicitly learning from each other and applying what they've learned in each project. Like even just talking about here, it's like I love that we're talking about Insomniac, who, again, goddamn, they're just fucking killing it out there. But to be like, oh yeah, these features were in Ratchet & Clank. These features were in Miles Morales. It's just growing on itself, right? So I expect Spider-Man 2 to have the most accessibility options of any PlayStation title thus far. And I expect
be tough. That'll be tough. I mean, you know, Last of Us Part 2 did so much right in that sense.
Yeah, I just think it's going to keep growing, though.
Of course.
And then
I hope so, too.
I expect that the next game that comes out from any of those teams is going to be even better. Because so far, and correct me if I'm wrong and you're wrong, it does seem like they're really learning not just from their own teams, but from the teams around them. Anyway, I just think it's really awesome.
I did hear a rumor that I'm starting right now that Andrew Goldfarb over at Sucker Punch is actually trying to remove accessibility features from existing Sucker Punch games.
No.
So if you see a patch for Ghost of Tsushima, man, look out. That's what we call it. You got Goldfarbed.
You got Goldfarb. Break the hymen. Story number 4.
Jesus. Damn, that's over the line.
Xbox introduces a new strike system to curtail bad behavior. This comes from Ash Parris at The Verge. Today, a new strike-based enforcement program is coming to Xbox. The system's meant to clear up confusion regarding how Xbox enforces its community standards and helps players keep track of enforcement actions made on their accounts. In an interview with The Verge is a cool ass name.
It's a real cool name.
It's really fucking cool. Xbox Player Services Corporate Vice President Dave McCarthy explained the new enforcement system and its place in Xbox's overall community management strategy. This is all about player transparency. We didn't have a way to show our players what their standing was in our community, and this makes it completely clear. In the new system, if a player violates the Xbox community standards, they'll receive a strike. The severity of the violation determines the number of strikes and the length of the punishment. If a player receives a total of 8 strikes, their account will be banned from using Xbox services like voice chat or multiplayer for a year. The strike program starts today with everyone on the platform getting a clean, strikeless slate. McCarthy shared that only about 1% of the Xbox player base receives any kind of enforcement action, and that only a third of that 1% goes on to receive additional enforcement actions. Without any kind of standardized program in place, McCarthy said that the players would express confusion as to why some enforcements earn day-long suspensions while others would ban a player for a week or a month. In a blog posted to Xbox Wire outlining the new enforcement system, McCarthy wrote, "This revised system gives players a better understanding of enforcement severity and the cumulative effect of multiple enforcements. As with any enforcement action, players will be able to submit appeals, and upon a successful appeal, the applied strikes will be removed. Additionally, strikes don't stay on a player's record forever, falling off after 6 months."
Your permanent record.
The biggest threat in the world, the permanent record.
Remember that shit?
Man. Cool,
I guess.
right?
I mean, it's like here's the thing. Making Xbox a more, no, I want to say convenient. That's not the right word. A more acceptable place to play. That's not right either. A better place to play. Making Xbox a better place to play. Cleaning up, getting rid of assholes online. I am all for that. That is great. When you read it, a player receives 8 total strikes. That's a ridiculous number.
It is, but
then they do say the severity of the violation determines the number of strikes.
Yeah.
So if you're a really bad guy and you say something really bad, hopefully you get 4 to 5 to 6 strikes right there.
Yeah, and I think that's the number 8 to me reads like there's a lot of thought put into this.
Yeah,
it's not just.
I mean, but the way they explain it,
it,
there's a lot of strikes.
Yeah, like I feel like that's good. That there's nuance to this. They're clearly trying to come up with stuff that makes sense, that they can stand by, and that players can understand. I think that transparency is huge, not only for being able to enforce these things, but also to just like clear up any like potential fake news type discussions that get out there of people being like, Xbox banned me for XYZ, and like they didn't even tell me this, and then that turns into a freaking PR nightmare type thing when it's like, no, the reality is you did this shit, so you got in trouble, right? Keep it clear, keep it concise, make it public knowledge to people. The thing that shocks me the most is McCarthy shared that only about 1% of the Xbox player base receives any kind of enforcement action. It's like, something about that doesn't seem right to me.
Okay.
I feel like there's a lot more than 1% of strikeable people out there.
Yeah, but I mean, are they getting reported? That's the other thing too. I feel like how many times have you run into you or me or whoever have run into an offensive name or heard somebody say something in a thing? I don't know, but do you go through the steps of clicking and doing? And I don't. Full disclosure, I'm not even playing on Xbox, let alone multiplayer games for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't even know anymore. I know they've made it simpler than ever with the recordings and being able to talk and do the. You know what I mean? Like I know it's way simpler to report, but even on PlayStation. But again, I'm not playing with randos.
Yeah, and I like in the Call of Duty days back in high school with my friends and I don't know if we had like even close to these type of tools. So I think it was just like a simple like, all right, we got to mute them in our party or whatever because we're playing COD with some rando and shit like that. So I wonder how many people are just doing that still to this day of like, all right, I just got to mute this fucking team member because they're being a shithead.
Yeah.
Funny or hilarious. If one day when we're streaming, we bait Mike into saying something, and then we get everybody to go report him.
It's definitely one of those two options. There's nothing in between. I don't know what to say.
You know what I mean?
Story number 5. Activision drops lawsuit against TikTok user. I can't believe we're talking about this again, and it makes me so fucking happy. This comes from Steven Totillo at Axios. Activision's no longer suing a music critic over the rights to use a sample of his voice from a viral TikTok clip in a promotional video. The gaming giant withdrew the unusual suit against Anthony Fantano last week, according to a court filing. Plaintiff Activision Publishing, Inc. hereby dismisses this entire action, including without limitation all claims alleged therein, with prejudice, it stated. A rep for the game company declined to comment on the dismissal. Activision had sued Fantano in July, accusing the critic of asking for an extortionate, wow, yeah, amount of money for using his voice in a TikTok video of its own to promote its gaming character Crash Bandicoot. In April 2021, Fantano had created a TikTok video of himself reacting to the prolific slicing of a pizza. His reaction, segueing from fascination to alarm, went viral. Activision would later claim Fantano's clip was listed by TikTok as cleared for commercial use. It also argued that users who signed on to TikTok agreed to allow others to remix their contributions.
You're fucking Activision. Just give him some money.
No, Greg. No. There's the other side of this, which is like, Homie's tripping. Like, he is totally just trying to get money from this shit, and it is hilarious. Like, it's a sound on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's allowed for commercial use, and he's just out there suing people. He's been doing it to a bunch of other people. It's hilarious. And he's just getting money for this shit. Like, he's just out there, like just scaring people into giving him money.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Bravo to you. Bravo to you.
Don't say that. He'll hear it. He'll come sue us.
Me and Bless were talking about that last time. I just love that it's him too. I love this guy. Huge fan of him. He's his music critic on YouTube. I watched him for over a decade. The fact that he goes.
So is he doing it as a joke to
It's
do
not
the
as a
thing?
joke.
But
No, not a joke. But it's definitely one of those things of like, this is just wild. Like wild. In every which way you look at it. And like the fact that I'm shocked that this is the end. I'm shocked we're talking about this again on this show. But yeah, it's very funny that this is not the first time he's done this.
And it's working.
It's working, but it's TikTok.
Yeah.
It's a sound on TikTok.
Yeah, of course. I know. Yeah, everybody can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can sue for anything.
Yeah.
And he did. It's great. It's just great. Story number 6. Modern Warfare 3 brings back Call of Duty's classic Minimap. Wesley Yinpool at IGN reports. The crowd-pleasing changes for Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer continue. My God, who could this be? Is he calling Poe? You know? Is he calling Brian Altano because his name kind of sounds like Anthony
Hi,
Fantano?
Greg.
Hey, Roger. It's Greg. You're on KindaFunny Games Daily. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I just wanted to say you're doing a lot of great work on TikTok. You know that. We see
Okay.
that. We appreciate it. At KindaFunny Games on TikTok, you're doing fantastic.
Yep.
However, you have been using my voice in a few of the KindaFunny TikToks. And so I'm going to
Okay.
need you to pay me.
Sure.
Put that money on my desk right now, baby.
Okay. Yeah. Let me get some cash right now. I'll be right there.
Thank you.
Give me a second.
All right. Bye.
I can get some cash.
I didn't know I could shake people down like this. This is
That's
great.
what I'm saying, dude. He's a game changer. He's a trendsetter out here.
Isn't
We should give
Fantano doing it to like corporations?
Yeah.
Picorni Inc. out there. You kidding me?
Picorni Inc.
Yeah.
Didn't know Roger had a whole ass
He's
company
about to
to his
fucking
own.
pay up. He's
Wow.
coming in here.
You know, he knows we got another guitar floating around here. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be on the wrong side of history.
Greg's shaking him down. Wow.
Yeah, thanks.
Wow.
Okay, just keep it coming. Don't worry about
This
it. all right?
motherfucker's walking around with $20 bills.
Lots of $20 bills, huh?
Yeah. You go to
Maybe
the
he
farmer's
does own a
market?
company. I don't
Yeah,
know.
wow.
You know?
I haven't seen a $20 bill
Listen,
in about 10 years.
This guy comes in every day with the sickest drip, and you're going to tell me this guy doesn't have money, that he's not skimming somewhere
same
off the
time, though,
TikToks? I don't know where the monetization of the TikTok's going.
Him wearing the shorts and his like in the shirt right now that's like open.
Yeah.
I want you to actually shake him down so bad.
Oh,
You know,
sure.
grab by his little
Sure.
ankles, flip him upside down,
Sure.
shake, see what happens.
Sure.
Yeah.
Raj, come back.
The crowd-pleasing changes for Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer continue after confirming the return of slide canceling, which people on that side of the office were very excited about.
Great.
Roger and them were popping off.
Okay,
Activision has
Roger isn't a Call of Duty player. He's a Sniper Elite 4 player.
He is.
All right?
He is. Infinity Ward divided and enhanced by ditching the long-running classic Minimap for its 2019 Modern Warfare reboot, forcing players to rely on the compass at the top of the HUD, in parentheses, heads-up display, to determine where enemy fire is coming from. Infinity Ward stuck to its guns for last year's Modern Warfare 2, where the Minimap only shows enemy players' dots when a UAV is active, which means it does not display red dots when enemy players sprint or fire their weapon. Explaining the decision in a blog post published in 2022 ahead of the launch of Modern Warfare 2, Infinity Ward said, "We do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. We also want players to actively search out of the origin of a gunshot versus just traveling directly to where the dot is on the minimap," the developer continued. Part of the negativity around Modern Warfare 2's minimap has to do with the feeling its design helps so-called casual Call of Duty players have a better time in multiplayer. If players can't zero in on a red dot on the minimap for a kill, casual players potentially have more breathing room as they move around firing. Of course, in previous Call of Duty games, players who wanted to avoid popping up as a red dot on the minimap could always use a suppressor. In any case, it seems Infinity Ward and co-developer Sledgehammer have switched things up for Modern Warfare 3. Confirmation comes from the Charlie Intel Twitter account, which published a screenshot of a text conversation with a hidden number from the recently released Modern Warfare 3 trailer. That's a lot of stuff there.
It is a lot of stuff, but I'm glad they're doing stuff the fans want.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're excited about slide canceling.
Remember yesterday I had a sneeze coming?
Yeah, it's back.
With a vengeance.
It's like you tried to kill me yesterday. I'll be back.
One day it's going to happen. I don't know. I'm scared, y'all.
Your nose gets red when you like it almost happened.
Is it?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm a red boy. I do red things.
Yeah, what?
Story number 7. Oh, guys, we start with the Year of Dreams for Greg. We end with the Year of Dreams for Tim Geddes. 1993's Mario movie is coming back to theaters in 4K, baby. It's happening. David Walensky at GameSpot's reporting. In commemoration of the upcoming 30th anniversary on September 15th, Crunchyroll reports that Japan is set to mark the occasion with a celebratory screening of the 4K re-release of the Super Mario Brothers movie. This movie, known in Japan as Super Mario, Goddess of the Demon Empire.
Nice. That's a great name.
Holy shit, that is a great name. And that makes even less sense than anything in that movie. That just doesn't. That's not that movie, Greg. There's no goddess. There's no demon empire.
I mean, there's Daisy.
Uh-huh.
There's you got a bunch of lizard people over there in the world. You got Dennis Hopper, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
It makes about as much sense as anything in that movie.
That's true. It'll hit cinemas there, providing audiences a chance to revisit the cult classic. Japanese data and information company Oricon, sick, has a neon flecked poster worth checking out, even if you aren't in Japan and can't make it out for a screening. Bear, could you bring up this neon flecked poster? Yeah, this looks pretty damn sick. I'm really happy Dennis Hopper's in the bottom right making that face.
He's got to be.
That's awesome.
Are you going to fly to Japan to see
I'm not going to fly to Japan to see this, but they are releasing it on 4K UHD Blu-ray, and I will be buying it.
Great. Okay.
I 100% will be buying it. We just watched this movie a couple months ago.
Mario in
Review. So will I be rewatching it this year? Probably not. I might, I think I have a once a year max.
Fair enough.
For my boys. John Leguizamo. You know what I mean.
John
Leguizamo. I was thinking, though, for Halloween this year, I have 2 costumes I'm thinking about. Kevin always does his Halloween party.
Yeah.
One of my potential outfits is John Leguizamo's Luigi.
Nice.
I fucking love it, man.
Okay.
The green with the blue
Are you going to make Mickey Mario? Or is
That's up to him.
G going to be Mario?
That's up to him. Can I tell you? I want to tell you what my other one is.
Dogs.
But come here, it's a secret.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's one that, true fans will get.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be a Ghostbuster.
Yeah. No.
I got that new pack I gotta try out still.
Spoilers. Oh man, what I'm gonna be for Halloween? The answer to that question, y'all, it's so far away. If I want to know what's coming to Mom and Grop shops today, where the fuck would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah.
Out today, we got Everspace 2 on PS5 and the Xbox Series, Hammerwatch 2 on PC, moving out 2 on PS5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Wayfinder on PS5, PS4, and
Now, you said that. Do you know all about Wayfinder?
Wayfinder sounds familiar, but refresh my little memory.
Barry, I'll read the description. You want to toss up a trailer for it. This is one that we've seen at Summer Game Fest. I don't remember anything about it, but I got a tweet from a Kinda Funny best friend being like, yo, this is a Greg-ass game. With fast-paced action gameplay, you have the ability to become a powerful wayfinder. Join your friends to explore new areas, hunt valuable beasts, and take on dangerous expedition in order to push back the evil that threatens your world. I believe it's like an MMO kind of thing out there where you're doing like an action MMO, like on the heels of the DC conversation today or whatever. Like, I am going to go in, quote unquote, sight unseen because we're watching it right now, but I'm going to download it. I'm going to jump in there. Kinda Funny best friend says it's a Greg ass game. I'll try it.
Hell yeah.
Kind of looks like Fortnite at times, and then it kind of looks like other things at times. I don't know.
I saw someone tweeting yesterday about Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they up to? Ember Labs.
Well, they made a PS2 game last time, so they're probably making a PS3 game right now.
Give me another PS2 game, But like, I feel like they're due for an announcement sometime soon, right? Because
that was 2020. That was work from home era.
Yeah.
Oh, Criterion says, Criterion Mind. Wayfinder is Joe Mad's new game. Interesting. Okay.
Why is he so mad?
Bear, fuck off.
New dates for you. Batman Arkham Trilogy comes to Nintendo Switch on October 13th.
Woo!
Very exciting for
That's all you get from me.
Yeah.
That's all you get from me, Rocksteady and WB. Fuckers.
Whoa.
Deals of the day. Coming to Game Pass. Today, we have Everspace 2. 17th, we have Firewatch.
Hey, Firewatch.
On the 18th, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's getting really good reviews, Greg.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited to play it, Mike. We're streaming Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Friday, aren't we, Mike? Friday.
TCSM.
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Everyone is looking for the weekend. Remember we met her? She was wasted.
Yes,
She was 19 and shit canned.
Jesus.
What? Sorry that I took the journalist's oath to tell the truth. I've put up the photo before you can see it.
Also, we also met Hillary Duff that night.
Did we? Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, right. She was like in line in front of us.
What a time, man.
What a time.
You're
What a
just putting
time.
her on
What a
blast, though. Getting strays for no reason, man.
Rebecca Black, for what? For being drunk?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Greg Miller's story? Remember that time I had Chipotle for the first time? I played caps with a Mizzou basketball player, then I shit my pants in bed. All right, there
Yeah,
you
but
go.
that's you telling your story, you know?
My story involved running into a drunk Rebecca Black. All right, if she didn't tell me her whole backstory to that.
All right. Did it involve Chipotle? We'll never know.
I had it, and I was like, well, I can't eat this again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it, man. August 29th, we have Sea of Stars, and on September 5th, we have Gree.
Oh, yeah. Remember that one? You nailed it. Well, I mean, actually, maybe you didn't. Because it's one of those, we say it that way, and then other people are going to say something, and then they'll be in the chat saying it's Grease or whatever. No, it wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
That's the long and short of it.
No.
Try it for yourself. Figure it out.
Figure out your
Jake
life.
doesn't check Rebecca Black shit in the bed, Greg.
This is where the rumors start.
No, the only rumor we're starting today is Gold Farm.
Mm-hmm. Last night it was Gia's mom's wedding.
Yeah.
And there was like a karaoke portion of this.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool.
At Foreign Cinema?
No, at their house before.
Oh, nice.
And like they made everybody do a song before we went. And I had to think real hard. But Mike, I did it for you. I did Wild Wild West.
Woo!
By Will Smith and
Cisco!
So that was fun.
We're going straight to
Where are we at here?
Wow West. You know, let's again just for a second stop to talk
Please.
about how great Cisco is.
Yes.
What a great friend.
He's the best.
He just shot me the text out of the blue yesterday telling me how much he loves all the wrestling and promos I'm doing and stuff, and then talked a bit about Baldur's Gate. He's fantastic.
He really is fantastic. I love the idea of Cisco playing Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
And just taking it so seriously.
You know he is.
Oh, yeah.
There's only one way the dragon does things.
Hard.
Seriously. Hard. Also hard.
Yeah, thought we were going to nail it together, but we didn't. It's okay. You know what else is okay? KindaFunny.com/you're wrong.
Oh.
Where people can go to correct us as we screw things up. And since it was me and you today, I'm not expecting anything on this list. There's one thing on the list. Lanky Dragoon says Wayfinder's early access release has been delayed to August 17th on PC and soon on PS5. It is no longer out today.
That is not something we'll be playing anytime soon. Got it. Perfect. Heartbreaker.
Yeah, it is. But also, that was a fantastic You're Wrong. Thank you, Lanky Dragoon, for taking this seriously. There's a sanctity to KindaFunny.com/you're wrong.
It's true.
There's a respect that few have, but you, Sir Lanky, I appreciate you. Dragoon's just a cool word, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Ragoon, Crab Rangoon. I go for a Ragoon right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Big fan of those.
Yeah, I am too.
Tomorrow's hosts, we have me and Greg. On Thursday, we have me and Bless. And on Friday, we have me and Bless. So many me's. So many hosts.
It's a big week for you, yeah.
It's a big Tim week. I think.
Sometimes you don't get to touch the ball here at all. Now you're just the ball.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I don't know that we've had a week in recent memory where one of us has been on every show in the week.
Sure.
I think I'm going to do it.
You're batting the perfect order.
I think I might.
We got chat. You need to come up with a name for this. Like, it's like it'd be like Tim Week, but you put Tim in Week somehow. What am I looking at?
Upgrade 88 did it. Oops, all Tim.
Fair enough. I like that.
That's
I
great.
like that.
KFGD, oops, all Tim.
Go, everybody, make your photoshops of
sorry.
that poster. Oops, all Tim, and hashtag him KFAF, and then Andy will see him.
Andy, we'll see them. I miss Andy already. Do you?
No,
No.
because it's that thing where it's a work day at 11:58 a.m. He normally wouldn't be here already. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't even know any
10:58.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in Mountain Time.
Oh, okay. Is that how Andy's brain operates? It's just mountain time?
Andy operates like a vampire.
It's true.
Because he sucks.
Got your ass, Cortez!
Anyways, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. We are about to do our super cool super chat post show. You can go over to youtube.com or twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames and resub, leave a message, or super chat over on YouTube, and we will answer your questions. Then after that, we're about to get in the lab and we're about to play some only up multiplayer. I think it's going to be me, Roger, and Snowbike Mike trying to see how high we can get without falling to the ground. All right? Is it going to be a stressful time? Yes. Am I going to scream a lot? Yes.
Yeah.
It is a game that makes me scream, everybody. But until next time, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. I love you all. Goodbye.
Here he comes, walking down the street. He gets the funniest looks from everyone he meets. Hey, it's Snowbike Mike.
Hey,
Shout out to the
welcome
monkey.
in, everybody. Greg, saw you went to a ball game this weekend. That
I
was
did.
nice,
I
man.
did. Yeah,
Yes,
It was
sunny,
a great time.
beautiful.
Benny's first game.
Oh, my gosh. What an incredible memory.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bunch of firsts out there.
You love to see it.
First ball game. That's a special one. Hot dog with the kiddo in the outfield.
Oh yeah.
Peanuts.
No, we didn't do peanuts. We did
No
hot
peanuts.
dog. We
Okay.
did a pretzel. Jen and I did the crab sandwich. You know, they do that there. They have the funky food over there. We had the garlic fries and the helmet. You know what I mean?
Got to do it.
Got to do it. Yeah. Everybody was super nice to him. Gave him his little redemption thing to get his little voucher or his certificate. He was making eyes at one security lady, so she came over and gave us stickers, that we could put on our
Awesome.
faces.
Very
it was a
cool.
great time. Amazing time.
You think he's going to be a baseball boy?
I do.
Really?
He loves sports. He loves balls. He loves kicking them. He loves hitting them with a baseball bat out there. And when there's a glove downstairs, he picks up and he goes, baseball. Like, he's super into it. So I would imagine this will be one of his things that he chases for a while. We'll see.
Just letting you know, every Tuesday night, I'm out on the Diamond. If he wants to come see, a
real professional?
goat. Yeah, I'm out there. I'm available. Tim?
Yes.
It's great to be back. I'm excited to be here for another Kinda Funny Games Daily post show with myself and your two incredible Games Daily show hosts. Of course, this is your chance to get involved on today's show. If you want to dive a little bit deeper into one of today's news stories, if you want to bring up a random topic of discussion, like, Tim, what's one of your firsts that you remember recently?
Recently, a recent
Yeah, well,
first.
give me a recent first, Tim, to start off today's post show.
I don't know. I'm super hard
you
blanking
Pokemon
here.
Go in it.
Yeah, but where's the first there?
I don't know. Maybe you took a walk on Pokemon
That was
Go
exactly-
Community Day.
Maybe you fell in
you
a
were part of
sewer.
a read.
Tim, we had you play a new arcade game for you for the first time. on
That's
Friday.
true. That is true.
I forget what it's
I
called.
forget
right
what
now.
it's called too. Roger would remember when we went out for Imran's bachelor party. We went to this barcade, and in the same way that Killer Queen years ago, I was talking about it on Gamescast. Is like, oh my god, there's this incredible arcade experience we all got to play. There's this other one that Roger put me on to that has it's very simple controls. It's just like a dial where you either go forward or back, like a lever essentially.
Okay, yeah.
And it affects the how high you are. Like, it's essentially just like an endless runner type game.
Yeah, I like that.
on
I
your
like
phone,
that.
but it's an arcade game. It's really intense, and the faster you go, there's fans that blow at your face.
Got it.
And it was
Got to
pretty cool.
replicate that speed.
Super stylish, really cool. Oh, Charizander says Tim went into a card shop and was bullied. That's a first.
Yo, tell me about
That is
that.
true.
Tell me
That
about
is
that.
true.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a little more off cam because I'm not trying
No.
to expose motherfuckers. You know what I mean? But you may or may not know where I'm talking
I
about.
might have
all
been
right?
there. I've been to a lot of card shops here trying to buy cards, Greg Miller. Let's jump in.
You guys look
to
like
this
narcs.
post-
They think you're undercover
They
cops.
they look at me and they're like, yo, we got to get this kid out of here immediately, Let's jump into today's super chats because we got a couple already rolling in. Don't forget, if you're watching live on YouTube, you can use that super chat function. Or if you're over on Twitch, don't forget, they have a brand new feature that's called the Hype Chat, just like a super chat. Or you can even resubscribe to the tier 1 to 3 level and get your questions read right now. Just like Shane. Shane has written in and says, Greg, my 1-year-old son, Logan, is named after Wolverine. Even if my wife disagrees, how old should he be before he is introduced to his namesake?
Oh, wow. What a great question.
Yeah.
I think there's enough different avenues to get involved. This, I imagine, stems in some way from yesterday's BVS conversation for Ben seeing that eventually. I think, you could jump to the X-Men cartoon pretty easily, right? There'll be some scary moments in there, but,
The 90s cartoon?
yeah, right? They're about to redo the new one, right, for Disney Plus, too. They'll have some stuff happening there. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other Wolverine animated stuff that I'm not familiar with. Does he show up in Spidey and Friends? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he actually does. Probably not. There's some really good X-Men shows. I feel like there's like the fans, right, would say that there's the standout ones. Of course, like the mainstream want to talk about the 90s shows, but I feel like the creme de la creme when it comes to Marvel animated shows. Unlike DC, which has countless amazing things. I feel like Marvel, the real hidden gem ones are Spectacular Spider-Man. Obviously, I'll always got to rep my boy there. Love that show. I feel like that has been written all over it. There is Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, that was on for a long time, right?
And then on the X-Men side, I think it's called Wolverine and the X-Men. And those three are like, they did it. Those are the shows, everybody.
But also shout out to X-Men Evolution.
Shout out to, yes. Got a lot of love for that as well.
Oh, yeah.
But Shane wants to know, at how old
My apologies.
do we do the introduction? So for me, I was going to bring up, I really vividly remember kindergarten and first grade going to school, and before the bus picked me up, that's when the X-Men's 90s cartoon was. That's when Sailor Moon and Pokemon was, and those are vivid memories. So I'm saying kindergarten, first grade.
My thing is,
we're really going to start putting that memory
I think
up.
back to Tim's point, how much diversity there is and stuff. I'm not familiar enough with all of Wolverine's interpretations on it. You know what I mean? So you have to really take it on a show-by-show basis of how scary it is. Like, Ben can watch my adventures with Superman. He loves it.
Is Ben going to remember that when he's 34 years old or 23? That's my question to you. Is like,
but no, you never remember your first introduction to stuff.
Correct. But like, now we're making that introduction. How old should that child be so it remembers the moment?
I mean,
that's what I want to know.
So, but if they remember, it's not so much. Think about me with Superman. I do not know the first time I watched Superman or how I got to be a Superman fan because it's just been with me forever.
So
in the pajamas, in the cartoons, in the toy, in the whatever. Like, I'd rather it be that.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be Brett. That's what I'm doing to Ben, right? Like, I'm pounding Ghostbusters.
You're pounding Ghostbusters.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He wants to play. How many Ecto ones this kid got to have? I don't know. I haven't hit the limit yet. The limit does not exist.
To your
there should
point,
never be a limit.
To your point, Mike, about the power or Pokemon and Sailor Moon, that era's gone where those were the only things, right? Like
but you can make that era.
But I don't think you can. I think that there's just so much of everything, whether it's anime, cartoons, Power Rangers type stuff, superhero stuff. It's just there's so much content, and with Netflix and all that stuff, it's not like this. Hey, we're home from school. There's only 4 channels that are showing anything for kids, period. So you're going to have one of these experiences. You're either a Disney kid or a Nick kid. You're a Cartoon Network or like Fox Kids and things like that. You might mix a little bit here and there, but like at the end of the day, there's Saturday morning cartoons, and then there's that 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. before The Simpsons comes on. That experience is over.
Well, I will push back a little bit. I do agree on some sides on that. I think also up to the parents, they get to make those moments as well. Like my dad, every day before school, would turn the records on and we would listen to Michael Jackson. We would listen to The Temptations. We'd listen to Alice Cooper, School's Out for Summer. First day and last day. Like Greg has those moments now, right? Before Ben goes and loads on that bus, he can turn on the OG Superman or X-Men and make that an impactful moment of like, hey, we're going to school. Oh, snap. Superman's on in the background. Like he can make those. I do agree. Coming home right now, there's not that kind of vibe anymore, but you can make that initial push. I think the family gets to make that initial one there.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Fair enough.
But I like that. Yeah, I'm just worried about the age, right? What is the age where you start to really remember?
You're never going to know. That's the thing is then you miss your opportunities, and then they start getting into stupid stuff.
Yeah,
and you miss your opportunity because you wanted to
Don't
wait.
Miss that.
I've been out there, tending to the field.
I love that you're tending.
You've let them get overgrown, and you want to then.
I'm letting my weeds grow.
Stuff. Yeah, and then guess what? They like stupid stuff. They like Pokemon.
Let's keep it going right now. We got DSEP DNA 3-up. Says, hey, Greg and Tim. Screencast around these strikes. Maybe Greg on. I can try and facilitate.
Wait, is this coming through like a Morse code?
I'm just reading that.
Gary on.
Oh,
maybe have Gary on.
Maybe have Gary on. I can try and facilitate a Raphael Cassell blind spotting appearance. Let me know. Thanks, guys.
I mean, I'd love to.
A lot going on there. A lot
talk to
going
Rafa
on.
At any point. I feel like we're always getting close to getting him in the studio. Yeah, no plans to do that in particular, but it's interesting.
All options are on the table?
This table.
Yeah.
Okay.
If people are looking to learn more like right away, though,
I
would highly recommend checking out More Civilized Age, which is a Star Wars rewatch podcast. They had Adam from Adam Ruins Everything on the recent episode to kind of just talk about it all. Like they took a break from doing like Rebels coverage and all that stuff to kind of like really sit down and talk about it. So if you want to learn more, it's a good place to learn a lot.
Adam Conover's a very smart guy.
Very smart dude.
Not so much.
Cool Geek has just resubscribed to the tier 1 level for 27 months. Hey, Cool Geek, thanks so much for your support over on Twitch. Back to YouTube. CJ writes in and says, just watch the Gamescast, and I feel like people are overlooking the fact that AC6, Armored Core 6, Greg,
My fucking guy.
Thank you. That helps me.
is 40 to 50 hours. Is there going to be time for KF to review that?
Don't worry about us.
Don't gosh darn worry.
We're professionals. We know what we're doing over
Okay.
here. Don't worry about what's
Yeah.
happening here.
Yeah.
Guys.
And of course, remember, if you're excited about any game and you have a question, you want to be on the review, KindaFunny.com/Gamescast. Tell us what game you're writing in about. Ask the questions there.
Right in.
Because why would we be worried about it? I mean, we've reviewed other games. Again, I guess it all comes down to when we get code.
Yeah.
Similar to Baldur's Gate, but you would know that at review of like, hey, they only gave this to Sunday, and then it's a Thursday embargo. That's why we're where we're at with it.
We give our thoughts so far, and that's it.
Oak Toasted says, sup, fellas? What do y'all think about The Last Ronin's official announcement and it being developed by Black Forest Games?
Black Forest.
Thanks for all the content. Tim,
we
to
went,
you.
We went pretty in depth on this yesterday on Games Daily, so you can go check out that episode for a lot more thoughts. But I'm really excited it's happening. I have extremely low expectations for it. I'm hoping that this is I'm hoping for a 3 out of 5 on the Kinda Funny scale, even on the lower end of it. All right, it's just like
It's okay.
It is what it is, you know. But yeah, Barrett brought up a Samurai Jack game. And I hope that it hits on that.
Like
level.
that's the peak of where I think it could go.
Yeah. And like the story is so good that I mean, just being able to experience it in a different medium than the graphic novel, I'm excited to see it. Like the cutscenes alone might be worth the play. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm hoping for. But I'm not expecting really anything from it.
I'm excited about it. I look forward to jumping into it. I've played a lot of bad Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games in my day from the Xbox 360 era, where I remember some of them of like, man, this just isn't good, but it's
Out of the
almost
shadows.
there. Yeah, like I'm excited about the idea for it, for sure. I think you can make something good. We'll see.
I hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mind goes to the current South Park game. Where like I'm like, oh man, more South Park. Like that's kind of exciting. They really found their stride on those last 2 games. And then you see it and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, you
and then they're like,
beat 'em up.
then they're like multiplayer, and you're like, oh no, we're chasing trends. And you're like, here it comes. Get ready, everybody. So we'll see how that one goes. But I am the multiplayer guy, so I'm always looking for something fun.
Really quick, the game that Tim and I were talking about earlier was Black Emperor. So if you ever see this in an arcade, fucking play it because it's fun as hell.
It's so sick. It's just so stylish, so cool. When you died, like the screen explodes with like super sick motion graphics and stuff. Yeah.
Have you ever played Flappy Bird at the arcade?
Not the arcade.
Because Flappy Bird is just like that.
Yeah.
You just coach from the side and you just press the button all day.
Flap it up.
Flappy Bird, great game.
Think about that. Or Crossy
all.
Roads.
You could play Platy Bird on your PlayStation if you want.
You want?
Ooh, and is it
the
good?
options out there.
I mean, it's Flappy Bird.
Oh,
You
that's
get easy
lit.
platinum.
That's lit.
If you got skills, which I
I'm
know you
into that.
don't.
I'm into that. Baby Blanco writes in and says, what's the hype level for AC6 next week?
Mine is still where it was off of the Blessing preview of like, okay. Like I want to try this. I don't feel like I'm committed. Like, oh, I'm going to see this all the way through.
Yeah.
But he said the right things and showed the right gameplay. Where I'm like, I could see me getting into this for a bit. I could see me running a few missions. I don't see it hooking me since I don't know. Is there going to be a story about why I'm doing this? Is there going to be a thing, or is it just making the mech to do the thing? And like that's fun and great, but I feel like that's an experience I can walk away from whenever, when inevitably another game comes out, another review, something I'm more excited for.
Yeah, I'm with Greg. Exactly there. Like, I want to give this one a shot for sure, just to play it. Mechs are cool. I really want to like mech games, and I haven't found one that I absolutely love. Like Zone of the Enders to me is like the one, and even that I want to like it more than I actually like it. You know, Second Runner, great game, but it's just great. It's not the best thing ever, and I feel like with everything that game has going for it, it should be the best thing ever.
I'm 8.5 out of 10. I'm very excited about it, but not like lose my pants excited.
What's your Starfield hype?
Starfield hype's a 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, Starfield hype is the hype right now, but I am jazzed up about AC6. I'll give it 8.5. I liked the previews that we've seen thus far. I love From Software. I like the idea of getting in the mechs, right? I think the big goal is like, what do you do after we've come so hot off of Elden Ring, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The expectations of that. Yes, it's a different franchise. It's a different game, but like you're bringing that into this from that name just alone. What's that going to be? But you got to be jazzed up about this. It's going to be pretty lit.
What's your hype level for DC Universe Online, PS5, Xbox Series in the holiday season?
7.5.
That's good. I'll take it.
With you?
Yeah.
I'll give it a 9, though.
Okay.
I'll
You
jump back in.
and Trex?
We'll go back again.
The problem
I'm
is
in.
your Xbox, right?
Yeah, but I'll go to PS5 for you.
Yeah, but then we got to build up your character. We got to do all this.
Oh, that's tough.
I mean, I'll
They
do
don't
it.
have
We'll do
crossplay
it.
yet?
We'll drag you.
Yeah,
we'll drag you up there.
I mean, remember when
PC and PlayStation you play.
remember when we got into Sweater? We could do it all over again.
I mean, we'll do way better here.
Once a week, once every 2 weeks. Mike and Greg's adventures in DC.
We have to do more than that. We have to commit a month to it just straight. You and me playing all every
Greg,
night.
you say the word, bro. We'll get a bunch of Mountain Dew in this room, and we'll go.
Okay.
God, that would be my dream, Greg. Keeping with hype levels, let's talk. Co-op 64 writes in and says, "What's your Gamescom opening night live hype levels?"
No, we just talked about this in the show, right? Jeff's even trying to. It's going to be manage your expectations. It's going to be more updates than new stuff. So my hype on a kind of funny scale would be a 3 out of 5. I mean, it would be a 5 out of 10. I'm right in the mid, where I'm like, all right, this will be fun to sit with my friends and watch some cool video game stuff. But I'm not like, I can't fucking wait.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. My hype level is 0. Like,
Wow.
You're the master of hype.
Really?
Not looking forward to this at all. I don't need to see more of Alan Wake 2. Like, I'm sold on what that was. The last couple
We
shows
can't
been
wait.
so good. And I don't expect too much else. I expect a show with a lot of stuff that I don't really want to see. That bums me out. But that is what it is.
Rocking the kind of funny scale, 4 out of 5. Because I love afternoons spent together watching these presentations. I think Geoff has really elevated all of them so far. And I do want to see this third leg that he has, which is opening night live, continue to be pushed forward and elevated. I think that is his next piece of how do you take that to the next level? We've clearly seen it. Game Awards has improved and gotten to the next level. We just saw Summer Games Fest. That was taken to the next level. Here's this third project that he does in this year. How does he take that to the next one? I'm excited always for a nice afternoon spent talking games and hanging out with y'all. So
Hell yeah.
it should be high because it's just a nice afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Regardless
in
of
that
what it
sense,
delivers.
Yeah, exactly. I'm there for the fun of us hanging out. I just like, in terms of like hype, I'm not hyped at all for this thing.
There might be a surprise announcement.
I doubt it, though. If there's a surprise announcement, and I hope I'm wrong here, but I doubt there's going to be anything at Gamescom that like blows my mind.
The biggest, again, for years, the biggest thing that came out of Gamescom was Biomutant. And at the time when it was announced, it was like an exciting, we'd never heard of this before kind of thing. And I think that's the biggest thing you get this year is like a small game we've never heard of that just looks exciting.
Yeah.
But outside of
great.
that, which is great, but it's not going to be.
So when does he take it to the next level then?
I don't think it does.
You don't.
Is
That's
there
not the
ever
kind
a
of show
year
it
where he
is.
takes it to the next one?
We were talking about this on the show before this too, but like it's not just Keighley's show. Like the other shows are his. This is like him producing with Gamescom with partners in a way that is, I think, gets in the way of him being able to elevate it the way that we are talking about expecting from it, and also the sheer timing of Game Fest and Game Awards being equidistant from each other in the year. I just don't see this show ever being anything that's not just a preview update, which is great. There's such an important.
You figure you'll have those rare games that do slip through. They don't make Game Awards or they get delayed out of Game Awards in terms of their milestone, right? That then could be a thing. But I don't think it's a core thing of Opening Night Live. I think Opening Night Live is this interstitial.
Alex J. Sandoval writes in, completely off topic, but everybody needs to know
I'll
about
fight
it.
him if you want.
Planet of the Bass is out now, y'all, and it's got the original chick.
Fuck yes, dude. I am
big
so
deal.
excited for
The
this.
big deal,
I've been watching
y'all.
all the TikToks. He's been performing the whole song live. So I'll be in little previews of this shit. It's
gonna be lit.
Song of the summer, Mike.
Lit right now. And the OG chick, I'm in for that.
I love
y'all.
it, man. It legitimately, I fucking love the song.
Bobby Hayes writes in and says,
Bobby Hayes!
Hey, Greg, has little Ben taken to any video game IPs yet? My daughter is 3 months older than him, and she's obsessed with Mario. Chris Pratt is her Mario.
Oh.
LOL.
No. My PlayStation and consoles are mostly downstairs, so we're usually an upstairs family with him and his playroom and all that jazz. So he doesn't see many games. Over the weekend, I showed him Tren, the Media Molecule train game, because he loves trains and model trains and the little wood
Yeah,
track.
that's dope.
So he just sat
dope.
there and sucked his thumb and rubbed his head while he watched me play for a little bit, which is he's into it. That means he's there.
Okay.
I haven't shown him Mario yet, and when Zelda was the hot thing in the house, he would beg Jen for Zelda time, and he would sit there and watch Jen play like 15 minutes of Zelda before she'd turn it off or whatever. But
Yeah.
and he goes, Zelda. So he likes Zelda, I guess. But like in terms of being into an IP and asking for an IP, no, that's strictly Superman and Ghostbusters in terms of nerdy IPs. He also loves Go Buster. He also loves Thomas the Train. He also
Go Buster.
Go Buster is a cartoon about a bus named Buster who drives around and gets in all sorts of shenanigans.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
That's dope. And Greg, I also want to put some respect on your name. Day 7 of button-up T-shirts. Nice job.
This is the era of the collared shirt.
I
Greg.
love it. Don't stop.
How many do you have?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know, Tim.
Do you have 10?
Yeah, probably.
You got to have at least 10, 2 weeks.
This is this one's first debut.
Let's get 15.
I think tomorrow
15, 3 weeks.
tomorrow you'll probably see either a repeat from the new batch or one of my older ones you might have seen before.
Okay.
I keep wanting
Yeah,
to
I like
do
this.
this, but then I forget to like plan enough to actually do it. I want to go an entire month not repeating an outfit.
Nice.
And I want them to be outfits. You know what I mean? I
Oh.
don't want it to just be like, oh, I'm changing a shirt, whatever. It's like, no, I want it to be a fit designed head to toe.
What I want to do, and I don't have the time for it either, is to train a rat and let it loose in here. But it's like it understands that it's here to fuck with blessing. You know what I mean? Like I don't want just a rat running around. I need a rat that I can
purpose.
be like, don't go there, don't do this, poop in here, pee out here. At night, I'll open the door, you get in your car, you drive. You know what I mean? Like I want this.
Yeah,
Get in your car and drive.
You don't want to let it live here.
I don't want a rat in the building, but I want a rat to fuck with blessing and or Nick.
Seems like okay. We don't.
But I don't have time to train it.
Okay.
Is the rat's car rat size, Greg?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. I'm liking
It's
that.
kind of like a monster truck though for him because like he doesn't take the roads, he get run over. So he goes over the curb and down that hill. And
Yeah.
He's got like a little house and family and stuff.
Wow. Little rat family.
Daisy wants to give us a shout out to Stacy, their wife of 5 days. So shout out to Stacy in the chat right now.
So wait,
Yeah.
Daisy wants to give out a shout out to Stacy.
Who is their wife of 5 days now?
Are they both named Stacy?
Daisy and
Daisy
Stacy.
and Stacy. Comment already rolled through.
Sure it did. That's real convenient for you.
Just
It
want
sounds
to
that sounds like
shout
something
it out.
Definitely
just wanted
making
to
up.
shout it
I
out.
saw it. He's not.
Yeah, I can.
Oh,
read
okay.
now.
Just like everybody
I can
else
see.
saw the Ronald McDonald KFGD audio go.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of people were talking about that. I don't know.
I
About
saw evidence. It was real.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
Fucking real to me. Damn.
Feel the surge, Tim. I'm on the last quest in my Final Fantasy mode run in Final Fantasy 16. So sad that it's almost over. Question: Final Fantasy 7 R's Hollow or Final Fantasy 16's My Star Ending songs?
I'm going to be honest. I don't like either. Not the biggest fan of them. And I'm usually a big fan of the vocal ending themes. Why from Crisis Core? Always going to be my number one. But yeah, I didn't really love either of those.
Okay.
Damn, Final Fantasy mode. That's some real shit. That's hard.
I love that.
I don't know that I got that in me.
Now,
Yeah.
Daisy's comment here is Daisy is Dean and Stacy together. But it's really not, right? Because it's just the D of Dean shoved on top of
Yeah,
Stacy. You know what I mean?
Ludacris.
Also, why you guys sharing a username? What's going on over there?
Shout out to Ludacris for the tier 1 sub for 30 months. And Pruns says, I also want to see Jeff's third leg. He'll reveal it one day. And that opening night live is going to be lit when he does, okay? It's going to be a lit situation. And you're going to regret that you
Think about what you're saying
You're
right
gonna
now,
be-
Mike.
You're going to be
He never does.
lit in that
He
one.
never.
There's never a thought head empty except for snow bikes and Andy Cortez.
TJ
It's going to be a lit situation.
84 writes and says, Tim, wondering the tech answer to this. Andy's VODs on YouTube visually look awesome and are 1440p. Why can't KindaFunny's YouTube VODs be like that?
The biggest issue is we record most things live, and doing that causes a bunch of other issues. It's a pros and cons situation.
The pros and cons thing.
But yeah, it comes down to the way that live video is encoded is different. We're hoping they up that shit and figure it all out, but
Yeah,
it's baby steps.
so think about it this way. We stream to both YouTube and Twitch, whereas as far as I understand, Andy just streams to Twitch and then records the VOD and uploads the VOD to his YouTube channel. So then he's able to record at a higher bit rate and all that stuff to get a fresher look, whereas we're streaming live everywhere, which comes with its own problems. So
Yeah.
Lemon Boy writes in and says, Greg, my partner and I are considering adopting. I'm pretty scared. Any advice? What should I do to prepare?
Well, I'll take the question from becoming a parent. I don't know anything about adopting, right? So I feel like the question's more phrased around like we're on our path to adopt a child, so I'll become a father and my fiance is what it said. Or partner will become a mother. And so you can't really prepare. Like I think if anything, you have to look back at your own childhood and be like, all right, well, what did I like? What did I didn't like? What can I do? How can I do this? I think you have to have that conversation with your partner, right? Of like, you know, you guys need to be rock solid because this is going to be incredibly difficult and incredibly tough, but it's also incredibly awesome. You know, Jen and I are so much closer, and we were already so close before. It's really added another layer to our relationship that, you know, I thank God every day that I have her, right? Because like I've, you know, for years on podcasts, people heard me say, I don't want children. And it was on my first date with Jen where she said, oh, I want 1 or 2 kids, where I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, wait, and I had to do a whole thing and I've said before that like, oh, it was just like, the people I was with before, that relationship makeup didn't make sense for children. Like that's what it wasn't about, right? And so then to find Jen and be so in love with her and be like, oh no, I see this, and we're so in love that we, you know, want to literally personify our love here, right? It was a big move, but I feel like it would have, if I had a kid in any other relationships, if it was one of those, well, you're never ready until you're never ready, so just do it kind of thing, blah blah blah. Like it would have amplified every crack I ever had in any of those other relationships, right? Like it would have because I mean, even for Jen as being is rock solid, right? Like you are way more tense. You are, I mean, especially in the early goings, right? And depending on, can't speak to adoption, but in terms of having a baby, right? Like them changing your schedule and nothing being the way you want it to, money, yada, 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 like everything, every issue in your life is then amplified, right? And it is a seismic shift in what you've done up until that point. And so it's this really crazy, beautiful thing to be experiencing for me at 40, and I guess technically 39, 38 when Ben came around. No, 39 when 38 when Ben came around. Anyways, being a full-blown adult, suddenly you're in the deep end of like, wow, this is completely new. Everything's a brand new experience, and to have a partner with that, that's awesome, but that's also a lot. And so like, you know, it's added a new layer of communication and love for us and all these different things, but it's like, you got to be ready just to ride the wave. You got to rip it. You know what I mean?
You got to rip that curl, man.
You know what I mean? Like
you got to get in it.
It's going to be good. It's going to be bad. It's going to be messy. It's going to be great. It's going to be all those things. And it's going to be a fantastic experience. Like it's awesome being a parent. You know what I mean? Especially now where like, you know, we're on such a great wave of, in general, Ben time, right? But especially coming off this weekend where it was his first baseball game and he was into it and he got it, and we have him in a little jersey and he's adorable and he's excited to see Auntie Luce at the game. And then, you know, we came home on Sunday and like, you know, he played by himself in the living room while we tore stuff apart. That's like one of the first times that's really, he plays by himself. We're usually in the room with him where we're really like, okay, like we went and did stuff in the kitchen and like saw him do it. Oh man. And then like, you know, now just the excitement and like the conversations and, you know, the things he does that are like, you know, no longer just little baby things he's stumbling into. He's making choices. Like I have a video I should show you. I'll play it too, but it's me. He likes Goodnight Construction Site, this book, right? And I've read, I wasn't going to say hundreds, that'd be an exaggeration, dozens of children's books to Ben, right? And if you want, I could, Sandra Boynton, Dinosaurs, I can read the entire book. I can recite the book to you right now, line for line, right? That's how many times I've read Dinosaurs to Ben. Goodnight Construction Site is a relatively new edition. It came when my dad visited, so a month, right? Less than that, I guess. And I've read it to him, and Jen's read it to him, and it's one that he calls out for now at bed. But I have not read Goodnight Construction Site in abnormal amount of times. It is not like where he's getting 7 readings a day. He can finish the book. Like, he finishes the sentences. So, like, Jen made this video last night of us doing it.
He pours the load. He's ready now to leave the load.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a good one coming up here.
He takes his bath, gets shiny.
This might be the bad one.
Don't do like that. That's icky.
He takes his bath, gets shiny.
Shiny.
Bright.
Bright.
Pulls up his chute, turns off his
light.
Like, it's like, you know, like, it's crazy that this kid has heard the book maybe a dozen times, but he knows the ends of these sentences. And granted, it's rhyming, but still, like, he's not even 2 yet. And so it's like those kind of jumps that you sit there and you're like, holy fucking shit. You know what I mean? Of like how this is going. Anyways, embrace it. It's going to be amazing.
I love that, Greg.
Hell yeah.
I'm proud of you. I'm so happy for the both of you. I have a plant that I try to keep alive.
Yeah. I thought about you. I forgot.
How's that going?
I forgot you were in Tahoe.
Yeah.
So when we got to the Giants game, I was like, shit, because we brought Anthony Luce. We should have brought Uncle Mark.
Oh, man. Yeah, I saw
And I
it.
want you to know, yesterday, Andy was like, why didn't you should have told,
I
like,
was watching.
Andy, come on.
Come on.
Really?
Slap, you're going to miss that game. We're going to have some
You're like the least reliable person. You know?
Rudio writes
It's a
in.
6 o'clock game. You're already going to wake yet.
A couple more questions, then we got to get out of here. Rudio writes in and says, can y'all stock the spare bedroom with strictly Dr. Pepper? Let's F with Andy. I don't know why he's besmirched DP's name.
I can't believe it.
23
Never call
awesome
it DP,
flavors.
please.
DP, bro. Dr.
bro.
Pepper, bro.
Everybody
DP's
Google
real
DP
good.
right now. Just
It's
Google
good
DP and find
stuff,
your favorite
man.
Dr. Pepper flavor.
Woo! Spider Manny, Tim, Mike, and Greg. My question is, how are y'all doing today? You all look great and are killing it as always. Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty damn good. I was looking at the calendar and I am a little shocked at how my day is today.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect
You have a pretty
it,
big
know?
day.
But it's exciting. No, I forgot that I'm playing only up. And
Yeah,
now I'm like, I want to get
I'm
back
all the
into
way
that
up.
world, man.
I'm glad that you're feeling good right now because, my goal is to break you in the
Destroy
next
me.
2 hours.
Dude, it's going to be awesome.
It'll be a great time.
I've been thinking about that game a lot, Mike.
Well, we got a new game. It's a new game.
I'm excited.
It's only climb better together.
Woo!
Greg, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. You know?
Yeah.
Had a good night last night, as I already recapped on the show.
Wonderful.
Got a good shirt here.
Yeah.
Got an embargo thing this afternoon. Gonna do lunch
that.
with Tim, but I am already starving, so I'll have to get into my snack drawer.
Happy hours?
Get into my snack drawer.
A little happy hour with him?
I don't know. I wish we had time.
Maybe a little happy hour.
We'll see what we end up getting. We'll see how this was shaped.
I mean,
out.
me and Greg have had some good meals. You
We
know what I
have.
mean?
We big.
We've been
We
around.
big.
We've had some good meals right there. Let's finish this off.
Oh, I got
Okay.
something special for you too. Something you've talked about before.
Okay,
all right?
okay, uh-huh.
Hold on. Because I can't say it out loud, obviously.
Oh, okay.
But I want you to know. Look at this. There's official movement on this.
Oh, that's great, man. That's good movement. Okay. Janky writes in and says, just got the DC Injustice deck building game. Totally recommend you guys to play the DC deck building games or Marvel's Legendary. Also, I'm hooked on Marvel Snap. What's up with this DC game? You know about it?
Is this the IRL one or the?
It sounds like this is the IRL one that they're doing.
I don't know shit about it. I don't follow
Okay,
that.
is there a virtual one that
Remember,
we
there's
know
that
about?
other one. There's a game coming up that it's not Marvel Snap. It's more like Hearthstone that I looked at. And I was like,
Oh, okay.
Remember, I
okay.
got DC Heroes and villains.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'm fine. Oh shit! I think the new pass dropped too.
This weekend I was playing Snap and Scott Lowe pops up.
I know him.
And I was like, oh my God.
You challenge.
Like I don't know that it's him, but I imagine it's him.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like Tim Geddes, Scott Lowe, just random matchmaking, right?
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
Wow,
oh, this
wow.
is exciting. So I did like the Spider-Man point, and then he did the Spider-Man point, and then he did like the fist bump thing. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is him.
It's him.
It was
has
pretty
to be.
fucking cool,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And you
What a
battled
fun
and you
little
won.
moment. Yeah, I did.
Good.
I did.
Never lose.
A lot of
Yeah.
pressure for me, right? I was like, I don't want to lose this because if I lose, he's going to post this shit. But I won, and then he didn't post shit. You know what I mean?
So do you think it's really him or not?
I do think it was him. I think it was
call
him.
him?
Played a game for the first time.
Uh-huh.
You know, had a nice weekend up in the Ho.
Mm-hmm.
We went out to a nice cabin out in the middle of nowhere. It's really dope out in the middle of Hope Valley. And there we were. They wanted to play darts, but not like the darts you throw on the board. It's where two jabronis sit across from each other and you huck a dart at each other's feet where there's a can of beer there and you try to get the dart into the beer can and then you got to chug it. You ever play this?
No.
Yeah, I've never played it either.
No.
But I'll tell you what, I was hucking the dart, right? Because now
Is
you
it
play
a
this-
sharp dart?
Yeah, it's a sharp dart. And now you play this game of like, oh man, am I going to stick it into Greg's toe? You know what I mean? Because his foot's right next to it. But you're just lobbing it up there. And if it hits the top of the can, you get 3 points. If it gets the normal point, you get 1 point. First to like 3 points wins.
I like that he has like. You guys ever
Not
played
bad.
this like it's a fucking normal game and not just something that they
I'm
probably
tell-
came up
I've
with
played
on the
a-
spot.
Yeah, that's not good.
I've
Don't
played
do
a
that.
lot of booze games in my day. Flip Cup, you know.
I mean,
you
what about
play some
caps?
beer
Caps is
pong,
what I play.
some
Caps, classic.
caps is right, some quarters. Like I've done it all, but
Yeah.
I've never taken a dart, chucked it across the lawn, trying to hit a can. Beer darts. It's real. Thank you. That's exactly what it is, Brian McBride. Beer darts.
Everybody heads up. There's
Oh, beer
18
darts.
hours
When
left.
you say
18
it
hours
like
left on the
that.
battle pass So they undo the new Battle Pass for DC Heroes and Villains.
Okay.
Also,
18
shout out
hours.
to Marvel
18
Legendary.
hours.
That's a favorite in our house.
People play beer darts. Okay, there it is.
You guys are
We're gonna
psychos.
try beer darts here one day.
No,
Big
we're
Fat
not.
Robert.
When we have a big
Absolutely.
beer
No, we're not.
competition inside the studio, it will be one of the three.
When we have a big beer
We
competition.
have- when we do the beer Olympics,
Let me
it's
just,
kind of
you
funny. It's
say the
going down.
fucking word.
Thanks, Greg.
Let's go.
Oh man,
Here's
we're
the
not
big
gonna
thing.
get wasted.
Here's the big thing we need to do.
Yeah.
And this is years out probably.
Okay, years
But when we get EA Sports College Football, we need to do a tailgate for at least an hour and a half, keg stands,
Great
bags,
idea. Great
and then go
idea.
drunk as shit play the game.
This is a great idea. Greg, you're on the same page as I am. Let's finish off with our final one. Jorian writes in and said, in Starfield, or I think is Starfield, I'm gonna be boring and not make an outpost on a distant planet, but make one on Earth. Sounds like a good idea, question mark.
Do it. It's a role playing game.
Do what
you
you
do
wanna
you.
do.
This is
Play
what
your
the
roles,
Gamescast is about right
Yeah.
now. Our Starfield plans. We get into this. We talk about how
Get
we're doing
weird.
stuff.
Go wild. Go everywhere. I can't wait to see this. Maybe I hate building a home base. Maybe I never do that. Maybe I don't like shipbuilding. Maybe I just get lost in it. I think that's what it's all about.
Is Earth in Starfield? Is that a
believe it is.
stupid question?
No, I don't think it's a stupid question at all, but I believe
Damn,
it
we
is.
should have asked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it is.
Before we go, why is it like this? Why does iOS make something so great and something
Tell
so
me
hard?
what you got.
I've sent to assets,
We're going to assets.
Barrett,
We're going
an
to
image
assets.
for you.
Going to the sets.
Yep.
I can officially confirm, ladies and gentlemen, that yes, Tim Geddes played Scott Lowe
Hey.
in Marvel
Can't
Snap
confirm.
over the
Awesome.
weekend. We have a screenshot
Very cool.
where he says, "Lol, yup, Tim destroyed me."
I love it.
With some Infinite bullshit.
Oh, dude, I fucking got his ass. Hold on. We ain't done. I'm very happy that it was him. I'm going to slack my version
Oh, you're going to slack his
to
version.
assets for us to see so we can do a little breakdown
Where you're putting
here.
a smackdown on him.
'Cause I'm gonna be
seeing
honest.
65 to 28 there. I think that was 64 to like 2 over on the other one. It was bad looking.
I was scared he was going to beat me because, again,
Okay.
there's the social pressures of this.
You don't want to lose. Don't want to lose.
You would hate to be brought up on a show and embarrassed.
100%. I got
You would hate
real lucky.
to do it to him. What we're
I got
doing.
real lucky, but if you look, so I won 2 locations with 65 and 64 at Sinister London and left. After you play a card here, add a copy to another location. I played Shuri on my 4th turn, which means the next card you play is double the power. Infinite, you have to skip a turn to use him. He's 20 power, though. So I skipped that turn. Scott was feeling real like, oh, I got this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But then I came back, double the power of the Infinite, so it's 40,
Scott.
and then add to another location. Oh, it felt good.
Scott, you just weren't
It felt
ready.
real
You guys
good.
are fucking dorks. I'm matching Gems fighting Aquaman right now. All right.
Christ.
How hype is that, though? Matching with Scott Love.
That's awesome.
Like, it's just so cool.
Chat, that is going to be the end of today's Kind of Funny Games Daily Post Show. Thank you all so much for tuning in and hanging out throughout today's show. Of course, we will be back tomorrow with more KFGD, but we are not done making content for all of you. Of course, if you're watching live on Twitch, you don't got to go anywhere because that video is going to remain on. If you're watching over on YouTube, there is a brand new YouTube link up right now. We are playing Only Up together. Yeah, that's right. Multiplayer Only Up. It's called Only Climb Better Together. Myself, Tim, Roger, and Nick are going to go head over to the lab right now to see how fast Tim will break in this video game. We'll see you all over there in mere minutes. Goodbye.